Hi guys, let's get started. We're already late by 15 minutes, so we'll directly jump into the business. What is an RTM? This applies for QA people also, but I will start with BA. What is an RTM? See, for everything you need to understand the concept behind each document. What is the requirements traceability matrix? Okay, the business part is if there is a bug that has been identified in the market by an end user, okay, end user will be reporting to the support team, right? Hi, support team, I'm getting this error in your software. For example, Apple, right? You're getting you are using your Apple iPhone, but when you're trying to do something, it is not working. Then you'll call Apple support team. I'm trying to open my gallery, but it is not showing some of the pictures. That is the complaint you have raised. Then the support team will take that complaint. Now, it has to be fixed. It is a genuine problem. It has to be fixed. If it has to be fixed, then they have to know which test case does this bug come under the part of, right? Which test case is failing, right? For example, for gallery, they might have written some 10 test cases. So if we are getting this issue, which means some of the test cases, even though passed in the internal development team, it might have been failed, right? So let me tell you, business BR, okay, business requirement. Functional requirement. Functional requirement. And test cases written for that. And test scripts written for that. And code ticket number, test case ID, test script number, code ticket number, and system test case ID, sanity or smoke, or maybe like sanity test case ID, right? So let's say there is a business requirement BR1, BR2, and we have BR3. Under BR1, you might have, under functional requirements, you can have FR1, FR2, FR12. Right? So for BR2, FR1, FR2, again some. And again the same thing for, and non-functional, NFR1, NFR2. Non-functional requirement, there might not be many. Okay. And test case ID, TC1, TC2. There might be so many test cases, like here we are because of the limited number of cells. I'm just capturing some 12 test cases. Okay, test script number 1, same thing like this. And ticket ID number 1, Jira 112, Jira 113 like that. So Jira 123, some IDs and system test case ID ST1. System test cases are generally very less. Sanity test case can be only SAN1, SAN2. So same thing, let's say same things we are repeating for okay. Isn't this how the entire requirements are captured? BA team, we have a business requirement. Thus, that business requirement materializes into some X number of functional requirements. And against each functional requirement, there might be some non-functional requirements. Okay. And for each functional or non-functional requirement, there might be some test cases written. BA writes these test cases. And for each test case ID, if you are writing through automation, if you are testing through automation, you will have a test script number also. And this test case ID is against, you are writing the test cases for some code. That code is developed as a part of this ticket. So that this is the code to track the code. This is the ticket that we are tracking. Okay. The test cases for this code are TC, we say TS1, TS1, TS2. Okay. So Jira 1, Jira 2, let's say Jira 2, 1, 2, 2. I'll give you this. And then 3, 1, 3, 2. Okay, system 1. Okay. So for the code written, the ticket is Jira 112. For this code is written to meet functional requirement 1 and to meet non-functional requirement 1. And it has some test case 1 and test case 2. And it has test script number 1. And it has a system test case ST1. And it has sanity test case 1. Like, let us see the, okay, so business requirement 1. For this code, this is the you are coding this requirement. These two functional requirements are covered in this code. And this non-functional requirement is covered in this code. This test case is covered in this code. And this test script, maybe 3 test scripts are covered in this code. And one system test case is there. And one sanity test case is there. Okay. So if the support team comes with this issue, this is the issue raised by the supporting team, right? So this is issue related to gallery issue. All the gallery related code is written in this. Let's say all the gallery related code are written Jira 1121, 1122, 1123. So this code is getting affected. So which test case failed? Let's say this test case failed. And this sanity test case failed. Maybe these two test scripts are failing. And maybe this test case ID is failing. And maybe this non-functional requirement is getting affected. Maybe this functional requirement is getting affected. The entire business requirement is getting affected. Okay, so if any issue comes, then you will be able to easily trace out from right to left. The same thing, if there is any requirement for BR2, what are all the functional requirements? What are all the non-functional requirements? What are all the test cases? Suddenly, if there is 100 Jira 120, if you wanted to know what are the test cases related to 120, you can easily trace out from here. Okay, test case 7 and 8 are requirements of Jira 120. So from left to right or from right to left, this requirements traceability matrix will help you to identify what requirement is affected, what business requirement is affected, what functional requirement is affected, what non-functional requirement is affected, what test case are getting affected. So it is very easy to trace. If you are developing a project which has millions and millions lines of code, this becomes a lot of non-manageable. That's why you need this matrix to see which requirement is getting affected. You understood, right? Okay, so how do you create this in Jira? Now that Shweta and Prabha, you both have learned Jira. Now you tell me, how do you replicate all these things in Jira?
By creating user stories by each category.
Tell me, what user stories will you create?
Like on business request, functional requirement, non-functional requirement, or case ID, something like that.
So you will create a user story for what?
For all this data.
So you'll create, there are how many? There are 167 entities.
No, by category, A, B, C, D, just.
So you'll create user stories only for these three?
No, business request one, functional request one, non-functional request one, like that, the whole column.
You'll create user stories for all these three? All
yes.
These 6 or 7?
Yeah.
But what about the others? Won't you create user stories for this?
It will come under that.
It will come under what? Under user stories, what will come? Nothing will come under user story. Will anything come under a user story? No, right? This is Jira board. Let's say we have this Jira board, right? Let's pick up one project. Let's not create one project now. Let's use one existing project. Which project are we not using? Let's say we'll use NCPL media project. So this is Jira board. Okay. So tell me, what will you do? Which one will you create an epic? Which one will you create as a user story? Which one will you create as a task? Which one will you create as a bug? Which one will you create as a subtask? We need to have clarity. So which one goes into an epic?
I need to work on that, sir.
So first you have to create an epic for BR1, right? So that because that comes at a higher level, and epic also works at a higher level. So epic 1 and BR1 assigned to somebody, will not assign this now. So I created an epic. Now under this epic, what should we have? We should have, you have to add a child issue. Yes. What are the children?
It's 1, 2, 3, the numbers BR1, BR2,
Children should be stories, functional and non-functional requirements, right? So functional is FR1 and FR1. Okay, another user story FR2, another user story FR3, FR4, FR5, like this, whatever we have. How many we have? FR12. And we also have 4 NFRs. They also work at the same level. So NFR1, NFR2, right?
Yes.
So we have some 7 user stories under one epic. Now, so these 3 columns are done. Now test case ID, test script ID, and code ID. So code ID is Jira 112. So let's say this code ID is coded under FR1. So under FR1, you'll create a subtask.
Okay.
113, 114, 115, like this. The others are test case ID and the others are all test case ID. So you will go to create bug. Okay, bug, some softwares will have test case ID also. So you can say defect 1. You can attach the defect to some, you can link this issue is relates to FR, yeah, FR1 and also FR2 and also NFR1, right? So you are linking this. All the linked issues are here. Now you create another bug. Okay, bug 2, and you'll create. And again in this bug, you will tell which requirements are getting affected. Okay, is relates to FR2 and NFR3, okay, NFR2 link. So this is how you link each one of them. This is how you trace what requirement, for example, this is required, this is coded. What test cases are related to this code, what functional requirements are affected with this code, what non-functional requirements are affected. So to have this traceability, we will write this traceability matrix, requirements traceability matrix. As the name suggests, in requirements traceability matrix, you will be tracing the requirements against the test cases, defects, code, and others if there are any. So that if any issue comes, or if there is any business need, you will be able to easily trace out from left to right or from right to left. There are so many tools, like there are so many templates. Let's download some templates. Let's go to Google, requirements, traceability matrix, template, download, Excel. Okay, so it seems like there is one template here. You see here, is page view. You see here, requirements traceability matrix, ID, association ID, technical requirement, functional requirement, status, design. Here they are tracing the section in the design document also. And they're tracing the section in the technical specifications also. System component, software module, test case number, tested in, implemented in, verified by. Okay, so these guys are tracing like this. ID, associate ID, technical requirements, functional requirements, status of that, what section in the architecture document does this requirement got addressed, and what is the technical specification document section that it is reflecting, what system components are affected, what software modules are affected. This is done by one company. In another company can be another thing, like we will see another one also. Okay. So this is another sample. So here they are showing ID, high level capability, description, rational, related IT service, related stakeholders, priority, date elicited by NFR traceability, parent requirement. And here they segregated. You see here business rules, non-functional requirements, functional requirements. They have segregated as per the type of the requirement. Each company does it in a different style. But the concept of any company is same, just to do the traceability. Understood, right? Did you guys understand or no? This is a very, 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 very important concept for both QAs and BAs. Okay. My suggestion would be let us see if there is any course on requirements traceability. Requirements engineering, business analysis. Okay, well, RTM. Exact course was not there. Maybe you have to do.
Sir, in YouTube it's there, sir.
YouTube it is there.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Then why you did not study? Till now?
No, sir, I studied, sir.
Studied,
But
but
I,
you did not understand. Now did you understand or no?
yes, sir, yes.
See here, requirements traceability matrix, key concepts in project management, how to create requirements traceability matrix, step-by-step process. There are so many videos. We are also putting this video in YouTube. Huh? Only my explanation. Not your answers. Otherwise, people will mislead. Okay. Yeah, see, guys, this is a very important concept, and I want you to understand. First of all, anything you learn, you understand the business sense of it. Why does anybody use it? Right? That is very, very important. If you don't understand that, then it is going to be, even if you read something, you're not going to understand it. Now, did you understand the business purpose of this document?
Yes.
To trace the requirements against the code, against the test cases, against the architecture, against the, you're actually doing mapping. It's called as a mapping, even though we call it as a tracing. We are mapping the business requirements with the functional requirements with non-functional requirements, functional requirements with architecture design with test cases with the code with system test case ID, and so on. You can trace whatever you want. Each company does it in a different way, but this is the purpose. Okay. So we'll stop here and then we'll continue next week. Any
Sir,
questions on this?
Sir, one more doubt, sir. In my resume, they have given provided test summary report with ability to connect the requirement to other artifacts. I mean, I can explain this RTM, no, sir, the whole concept.
Is this question in your resume?
Yeah, sir.
Provided test summary reports with the
The
ability
ability.
to connect requirements to other artifacts such as different types of software tests or bugs. This talks about RTM.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So test summary, this is more of a test summary report, but the whole purpose of RTM is also same.
Okay.
Okay. So what is the homework? By tomorrow, everybody should study about RTM, and you have to ask questions related to RTM in your Scrum call, and everybody has to show RTM they have done for one of the scenario, or maybe write the test. The software you have to write is for lift. When you press 1, what happens? When you are going to first floor, if a 15th floor person presses 15, what happens? When it is going to 15, if somebody from 7 clicks, what happens? So these are all, this is a classical example people ask in the interviews. I'm not sure if you are aware. Okay, so for lift example, you have to ask them to write RTM, study about RTM in YouTube, and prepare an RTM template following a template they found in Google, and report the work. Okay. Okay then. Bye guys. See you next week.